Hello everybody, I am back, GenXGamer, here with a quick hit video for Tower Simulator 3. It's kind of crazy. One of the things that I did not do when I first started with Tower Simulator 3 was go through the manual. I was familiar with some of the phraseology from Tower 3D Pro, the earlier version, and when the new Tower Simulator 3 came out, I kind of watched some YouTube videos, saw what some people were doing. There weren't really too many people playing this sim on YouTube at the time either. And so I used some of those phraseologies that people were using. But I didn't really even know where to look to see where the phraseology was for doing voice recognition. Signs, it sounds kind of silly, but someone had mentioned to me, and it might have even been in the Discord or somewhere, that, yeah, it's actually inside the simulator. You just click the help button. And I was scouring the internet trying to find updated terminology and all of this stuff. So I want to save you guys the headache and the trouble. And I want to say thank you to Birdie Lover 2338, who is one of our regulars on the channel, in the comments section. And he had mentioned to me that he noticed I was using some different phraseology and was wondering kind of where did I get that from? Was it an add-on? Was it actually in the manual? And even he had mentioned, yeah, he's kind of guilty of not looking at the manual and checking for the upgrades and that kind of thing. And all of us kind of are with that. We just keep playing the sim. So let's just get into it. I'm going to show you guys where to find this. I hope this is really helpful. Just go into Tower Simulator 3 to help. Click help. Click manual. When you click manual, this guide's going to come up. It opened up on another screen, so I'm going to drag it over. This is the manual. This is the guide. Starting guide basics. It's got all the general information in it, okay? So if you're just starting off with the sim, and I've been encouraged, there have been a ton of people that I'm seeing that are just getting started in Tower Simulator 3, and I think it's exciting. I think it's great for the community. I think it's great for all the folks making videos, trying to be helpful and like to make content that people enjoy and love hanging out with when it comes to aviation, and Tower Simulator 3 is a big part of that. So taking a look here, I'm not going to go through all this in depth because that's not what this video is about, and I want to keep it pithy and short, and I'm talking as fast as I can. But here you can see you have your alpha codes, you have your numeric codes. These are the original aircraft, and I do believe my cursor should be recording for this. I remembered to click it. Down here, when controlling your departures or arrivals, there's information here. And then also, like your arrivals, you see here you have your prop, turbo, business, regional, narrow body jet, wide jet, cargo. You may have, for example, your cargo, wide body, narrow body, and maybe even your regional jets land on a longer runway. And so you would select those on those runways and disselect the prop and turbo and business. And maybe on a shorter runway, you're going to select prop, turbo, business and disselect the regional, narrow body, wide body, and cargo. And so that's how you get the different variations according to weight coming in on different runways, because some need longer runways to land. Some only require shorter ones. So it's another way to keep those larger runways from bogging down, right? All right, everybody, since I took a moment and kind of stopped here in the manual guide, I thought I would do a still image from an episode that I had at Tallahassee. Now in this, I believe it was the first look episode, so I wasn't concerned with wind at all because it was just a first look overview, so ignore the wind part. But you could see here I have runway 18 selected, the arrow is lit up, and runway 27 selected. Now this is on the METAR screen, which is F3. You push F3 inside the game, it brings you to the screen, and you can select which runways you want arrivals to come in on. So they're coming in on 18 and they're coming in on 27, but I designated 18. As you can see, the letters, you can select them by clicking on them and deselect them. And I selected on 18 prop, turboprop, and business, the PT and B. And that is because On that side of the airport, that's where the general aviation typically is, along with some of the business jets are mostly on that side. Over here on 2.7, I selected the CWNNR, which is cargo, wide body jets, your narrow body jets, and your regional jets. So that's how you would do that. Controlling arrivals, there's information here. Settings, information there. Some of this is just gold information for you if you take the time to go through it. And I'm as guilty as anybody else, in the past for not going through this stuff. So you just want to get in there and play, and I get it, but this is very helpful. Graphical user interface, information there. You scroll down further, here are the commands. Okay, you can see the very first one, just a basic command, be like American 2525, pushback approved, facing north. All of that stuff. And so your taxiways here, they have examples here, latitude 1234, runway 10, hold short of taxiway Charlie via Alpha Bravo. Okay, there's all kinds of different ways that you can do this. And let me just tell you again, this is a sim. This is not real life. Okay, not all the commands are real life. It's impossible to treat this as real life. So the commands are in here for you to use. So play them, utilize them the way you wish to, okay? There's no right or wrong way. Just enjoy the sim. Don't feel pressured like you have to do it a particular way, or, all these people are going to get upset with you, especially for you content creators. There's just a whole mess of them in here. Okay, American 2525, runway 31, clear for takeoff. Okay, so you're going to have all these in here, and a lot of these are interchangeable. And that's what I've done with some of my terminology. And Birdie Lover had mentioned this in his comment to me on a previous video, and that is, when I change my terminology, I say things like Southwest 2093, radar contact, continue approach, runway 31. Southwest 2093, radar contact, continue approach, runway 31 right.
Roger, runway 31 right, Southwest 20903.
And the reason for that is if you scroll all the way down here, in the update 5, they added more of that terminology for VFR traffic. You now have here, for example, radar contact. Okay, someone comes into your area. I like to acknowledge them, even the commercial aircraft. I like to acknowledge them. So that's why I started using that instead of, okay, they've messaged me letting me know that they're coming in on, runway 31. But I don't acknowledge them. And then eventually I just clear them to land. I like to kind of acknowledge them. Again, no right or wrong way, whether you do or don't. Continue approach. That was another one that was added to. I don't quite see it here. I know there's Roger, continue. It's somewhere in here. Right here. Roger, continue approach, continue number, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I utilize just a various amounts of commands together, run them together. You can do that. My suggestion is print this all off, have it next to you, go into a small airport where it's not going to be super heavy traffic, and just practice some of these things. You can practice really VFR procedures here. Whatever the airplane is, enter left downwind or base or upwind or crosswind, runway 31. Okay, there's all the stuff that you can do, and you can practice it. So this is where you find it. I hope this was helpful. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but just get in here, read, and watch some more videos. Hey, if you like my channel, watch my channel. There's other great content creators for Tower Simulator 3 also. Check them out too. Give them some love. All right, this is Bill the GenXGamer. I will catch you all in the next one. Hope this was helpful. Bye-bye now.